Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Now recently, Gary Stevenson, the man on my screen right now, has been making a lot of waves, getting a lot of airtime, getting a lot of podcasts talk on about the inequality rising right now in the UK. And he's been coming up with a lot of criticisms of how much wealth is being transferred from the poor to the rich. And he's on here to debate, I think, uh, businessmen to see which system is most likely to help the people of the UK right now to be able to get through the financial crisis that we're going through right now. And yeah, we're ready to see if this is gonna be a good one. If you love the video, drop a like and subscribe, and let's get into it.
His net worth that is quoted is based upon his wife's.
Yeah, but that company already exists.
Yeah.
It's created now.
Yeah.
It's worth billions.
But they have to reinvent that business every 2 years. Like it's a
So you think that if Rishi Sunak's father-in-law stopped managing the company, it would be valueless?
No, I think it hires hundreds of thousands of people, and it's it's a big company. I don't know a lot about that particular company, but I know it's a tech company.
Steve Jobs died. Okay.
Yeah.
Is Apple valueless?
No.
Let's not pretend that these creators are the sole reason these companies are valuable.
Sure.
And
Obviously, it takes a lot of work. It takes the accounting part, like the board of directors. It takes a lot of people to be able to make things work. But at the end of the day, decision making is the most important one, okay? Because decision making that the people at the top make, that's what the accountants will follow. That's what the directors will follow. That's what most people working in a financial, any level of hierarchy, that's what most of them will follow. And if they get the decision wrong, they were to invest their money badly, they could suffer the consequences, not even just the people at the top, but the people also underneath the hierarchy. Because if they reduce how much money they're earning, and now that means you probably have to reduce the amount of labor that you're putting into your company, which obviously means you're going to have to release some workers, you're going to have to fire some people. So although it takes a lot of work, a lot of people to be able to make decisions for this company, like as big as Apple, but at the end of the day, decision maker, which assets should we invest in? Which way should we go when it comes to our development of any electronics or any instrument, whatever? Which direction do we want to go? Those typically are the most important ones. They typically are the most important ones. So obviously him dying, it's not going to fall apart, obviously, because he would obviously know he would die one day, and he obviously wants to make sure the company is still in safe hands. But it's still extremely important.
what we're talking about in many cases, I was a trader, okay? And I'm worth millions of quid, and, now that is just assets. I just own the assets. I own the assets. And that will grow, and it will grow, and it will grow, and it will grow. And that will squeeze out and squeeze out and squeeze out and squeeze out our viewers. And I'll give that to my kids. They don't even need to work. They wouldn't even have to work. They could just live on. I could live off the wealth. Is that what you want?
Do you think there are any opportunities for people today? Like, if you're born into a poor family,
Yeah.
do you think it's possible that housing being shit, and we can both agree on that,
Yeah.
but do you think there are new opportunities that didn't exist for our parents or grandparents, but they do exist for people today?
I think the reality is, for kids from poor backgrounds, it is almost impossible to realistically get even financial security, never mind wealth.
But why do you think you could do it?
The thing is, number one, he's about to say something really stupid right now, right? If I could do it, you could do it. No, you're absolutely wrong. Like, although I'm someone that typically doesn't advocate for socialism or like, oh my God, wealth tax, or oh my God, the billionaires are bad people. But what he's about to say right now is just plain wrong, right? But the thing is, right, when we focus on things that people do in life, wealth, as in like having assets, being rich, having this and having that, that shouldn't be the main focus. The main focus typically for most people would be to have a good skill that they can use to be able to like apply to the economy and make enough money. That typically comes from gaining a skill, which obviously goes down the line of education, having good education, like investing a lot in the education system. Also, the norms and values of people taking education extremely seriously, because the gap at which education can push people economically forward in life is so big that lots of people don't even realize it. For young people, it's about getting a skill that you're good at to be able to close that gap, and education provides a basis and the best possible path to be able to close that gap. But a lot of people in poor neighborhoods, like, they don't take it seriously. Like, there are means that you can close the gap, but like, people just don't, they just take it seriously. That's one of my biggest concerns, I would say.
I could do it, he could do it, but you don't think other people could do it?
Now that's stupid, right? Just cause that's just survivorship bias, right? Everybody knows this. Just cause one person can do it doesn't mean like, no, it's that's quite dumb. That's very stupid of him to say that.
Well, the first thing is I'm 38 now, so I'm not, I'm not a kid nowadays. Listen, I won every maths competition I've ever been in, you know what I mean, since I was a little kid. I didn't even have a desk in my house, you know. I was one of the top students at LSE,
But
and I
you're
still had
only-
to win my job by cheating in the card game. You know, that's the world that we live in. I don't think that's a very replicable strategy. And look, it's very easy for people like us who've made money to say, oh, we did it, aren't we great? Go
Yeah,
out.
that's
and,
a
you know,
good point.
You've
That's
said
a-
that you
that's a
think
really
if
good
young
point.
people go and work in tech business, they can get financial security. If it was that easy, they'd all be doing it. You know, they're not idiots. Our viewers are not idiots. They're trying. They're trying. They want to find the good opportunities, and they work. Listen, I
But
speak.
I'm
they're
not
working
the one
so
saying
hard.
they're idiots. You're the one who says that they can't do it anymore. I see people do it all the time. Like I'm working in entrepreneur.
People from poor backgrounds.
Poor backgrounds.
And but then why are our viewers? You think all of our? If it was that easy, why is everybody not doing
I'll
it?
tell you
Dan?
why people aren't doing it. We went through a schooling system that taught us how to get an office job.
Okay.
Right? We went through a schooling system to prepare us for a world that doesn't really exist anymore,
Okay.
which is the Industrial Revolution world.
Oh, no.
And you have to
Oh,
go through
no.
a process of figuring out how it really works. So what I see is most often the people who do really well financially who are young, they dropped out of school, they dropped out of university, they started learning how to do things by doing their own research.
That's a horrible advice. Horrible advice. Telling people, the worst part is, I'm sure right now he has asset managers, he's got accountants, he's got board of directors, he's got like management teams, right? People top down in his company that are highly educated, skilled, and have experience working, and yet still is so oblivious that he can't actually see that you need education. Saying people should just drop out of school it's a lie. It's a lie. It really isn't. It's a lie, okay? Because you know why it's a lie? Because the richest people in the world send their kids to the best possible schools. That's why it's a lie. He becomes rich now. He will send his children to the best possible school, private schools, Oxford, Cambridge, the best possible education he will give his kids. And yet he will lambast education and be like, oh no, education is not good, just get out of it, and then boom. Like that's just wrong.
They start their own business or co-found a business. They take a very alternative path. None of that was taught to us at school. None of it's taught to us in normal society. We have a school system that manufactures people for a set of skills that are not particularly valuable anymore, and we also get them in debt for those skills. When people sidestep that and say, okay, I'm not going to get into university debt, I'm just going to go off and actually figure out how the world works, there's actually loads of opportunities.
How the world work? Why is it that people think that, oh my God, I'm going into debt, therefore it's bad? He's a businessman. He will realize what it means to be able to get loans. He will realize what it is to be able to be in debt, to be able to create opportunities, to be able to create financial stability, right? I'm sure him as a businessman will recognize that how powerful a loan can be, how helpful a loan can be. Just because you're in debt doesn't mean you've made a bad financial decision. If you go in debt for an education and then when you come out, it increases it increases like your financial stability or for your financial mobility for you to be able to climb up the earning ladder. Like it's insane to say, oh yeah, well you got in there, so therefore it's bad. That's just not true at all.
Okay, so I guess we've sorted it then. All of our viewers need to do is go and buy Dan's book, become an entrepreneur, and become a millionaire. It's
Yeah, like that's insane. That's a horrible advice.
that easy. Well, why weren't you guys doing it to begin with? They're idiots. The viewers are idiots. They should be just being more entrepreneurial. It's as simple as that. More entrepreneurial, start a business. Listen, I come from East London, okay? My friends can't feed their kids, okay? And if it was as simple as going out and being an entrepreneur, I can bet you they would do it. I can bet you they would do it. I'm sick of multimillionaires telling kids who can't afford to turn the heating on, you just need to be more entrepreneurial. It's sick, Dan, it's sick. But this gives people mental illness. It gives people mental illness. Tell them the truth, okay? We, your older generation, we took the opportunities and now it is almost impossible to get out of poverty. And don't just stand up there and wave, your millions of pounds in front of them and say, if you were entrepreneurial like me, you could do it, you could have it. Because it's sick because they can't. They can't feed their kids, Dan.
Yeah, it's totally right. Like the idea that like just start a business. Most businesses fail. That's a poor advice. This is why sometimes it's actually not good listening to financial advice from people that are already successful. Because even them, they don't even realize like the external forces that actually plays into the timing of whatever decision they make. They don't even recognize how lucky it can be sometimes. Like the shred of luck that they get, they don't even realize that they think it's just their hard work. That's a very poor advice.
And they can't turn the heating on. Don't tell them to be more entrepreneurial. Fix the system that drives more and more and more of them into poverty every generation.
I find it very strange that you think it would be easier to fix the entire global economic system than to start a business and fix your own personal economics. The thing that
Yes, absolutely. Like fixing the system typically has better outcomes than telling people just get on with it. Like it's insane. It's totally crazy. The biggest jump from people's wealth, people's well-being, right, started from the Industrial Revolution. You saw a big shift. The way jobs were, the way people worked, the way people communicated, and you start to see people's life get better and better and better. The idea that just tell people just get on with it and just start a business, that's a poor advice. Very poor.
the thing that I know that gives people mental health issues is feeling that they have no agency in their life, that they can't do anything. Your video where you talk about if you don't have a rich dad, you're screwed. There's no such thing as meritocracy. You're never going to be successful. To me, if I had have come across your content at 19, 20 years old, I would have been screwed. I'm so glad that I came across people who said, Daniel, you weren't born into a rich family. You don't have any bank of mum and dad, but it's cheap and easier than ever to start a business. Start by working for someone who's got a business, then figure out what's your opportunity. And there's a way. There is a way. I've actually worked with a lot of teenagers from poor backgrounds. And one of the things we do is we tell them if it's possible for someone else, it is possible for you. I also worked in rural Uganda with a charity that did work with the poorest of the poor. One of the most incredible things I ever saw was a woman who started out literally picking food
Again, it's gonna pick one out of a million. Just she did it. So therefore, like you
out
do
of a
it.
trash pile, and she was basically they shared with her how to start a chicken business, which then ended up as a pig business, which then ended up as a cattle business, and she ended up hiring 15, 16 people in her local community. The power of entrepreneurship is that starting with nothing, you can actually make improvements. I'm not saying everyone ends up as a millionaire, and I'm not saying everyone ends up equal, but I'm saying you can make improvements in your life. And the thing that causes mental health issues is the feeling of having no agency or no control over your circumstances until the world changes the whole economic system.
See, this is why I always say, like, you have to be very careful. Just because someone excels at something doesn't mean they actually know what it takes to be there, right? This guy, right? This guy, he's a successful person, right? Quite successful, but he doesn't even know what it takes to be successful. Him just saying, just start a business, just feel the way the world is, and just don't go to school. The school's just brainwashing you. This guy clearly has no idea how the world works. For him to be saying something like that, like this kind of advice, they're not even practical because most businesses fail. Most businesses literally just fail. Most people have to rely on some form of an income. If you have to rely on some form of like a profit from making a business, then nobody will be able to make any money from the age of like 17, 18 to like how long does it take for a business to be profitable? Like how long does that take? Like it's just bad advice all ends up. It's just horrible advice. Very, very, very like it's so difficult because these people, right, you think, oh, they're thriving in this domain, right? They would know what it takes to be there. But he doesn't. He doesn't even acknowledge the fact that most people cannot do business. Most people that start a business don't have the means to be able to regulate and finance a business. Most people don't have the time to be able to like start a business and then wait a couple years to be able to gain benefits or gain any sort of profit from it. But it's kind of crazy though that like this guy is probably gonna have like a huge following. He's gonna have a big voice out there. But I just think it's quite toxic to say people should just drop out of school and just feel the way the world is like. That's just very bad advice. But that's just my take on it. I'm very curious what your take would be. And if you like the video, drop a like and subscribe. And if you think anything else that you want to add on to the video, drop in the comments. It will be very much appreciated. Thank you.